Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is CMG TALK This is Catherine Gallagher. During day-to-day when I am working, I might be doing my clinical work, I might be doing podcasting like this, or I might be doing public speaking training or doing conferencing, turning up and doing events. Maybe being invited along to do a talk or maybe to talk about my own my own life experiences and events and challenges that I've had, because sometimes people say that they think I've had an interesting life. When I'm asked to talk about different life events and I'm asked to talk about disenfranchised grief and the topic that I specialise in, I'm often talking about how we overcome our own ways that our body, our brain, our mind has developed to protect ourselves. What do you mean by that? Well, I'll tell you what I mean. Sometimes we develop habits, we fall into habits, or we develop ways of doing things, managing things, like constantly overchecking things, or constantly self-doubting and sabotaging, or we develop different ways of doing things that our body and our brain tells us that it's protecting us. But sometimes it's actually getting in the way. We're overthinking, we're doubting, we're constantly telling ourselves negative things about ourselves. We do the self-sabotaging. It might be that we go a particular route and do a particular thing and have the same old. But is it because we're languishing, we're scared, we don't want to take ourselves out of our comfort zone, or are we feeling bored? Or is it because it's familiar and it's safe? Nothing wrong with having things that are familiar and safe. But if we feel that we're not flourishing and we're not developing or growing, or we don't have things that challenge us, if you don't feel we're contributing society, or our life doesn't have purpose, is it working for us? Sometimes opportunities do come along, don't they? And often they come along when we least expect it. Sometimes through adversity. We might then take up that as a cause to talk about. It might be that we've had something happen to us and it's made us stop in our tracks, and we've had to rethink and regroup and start investing back in ourselves. Maybe we wouldn't have done that if it hadn't been for what happened to us. But it doesn't mean to say that we celebrate bad things happening to us, but sometimes they do, and then it's what we make of it that matters. So when I'm asked to talk, when I'm asked to present, or I'm asked to do motivational and inspirational work, right? I'm asked to go along to conferences for large companies. Yes, I do. And the topics that often I'm asked to talk about can be varied and different. I can go to universities and I can go to schools and education. And I can be asked to talk about the challenges in work or the challenges in life. Or how to talk to your parents, or how to manage situations, friends. Because there are times where we face different challenges and they can just overcome us and overwhelm us. And having the ability to be able to reflect, to be able to problem solve, to be able to have tools to hand, to be able to make sense of, makes all the difference. But we have to understand and know what's stopping us, what's holding us back, or know what the difficulties are to be able to know where we want to be. I had a conversation recently with someone, and they said they weren't really a big planner. They just like to go with the flow. They just like to turn up or wake up and just see how the day unfolded. But what they found, that at times of difficulties and challenges, that became problematic because they didn't have anchors. They didn't have things to hold on to. They felt they were afloat. There was no purpose. They would get up and they would say, what have I got to do? Well, I don't know. I usually just get up and go with the flow. I'm at a loss. Feeling adrift. Equally, if we're too busy and we're constantly filling our day with things to do, busy, 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 sometimes we don't take time out to recharge and refuel, energise, switch off. That word that I use often, if you're listening to my episodes, you can put them on repeat. You can download them to go back to them, or you can come on and listen to them at your leisure. But balance is key in life, and understanding what the balance is in your life that makes things right. I was watching someone sharing on a platform, social media platform, that they had been taking time out to focus on their health. Health is wealth. And they had been able to do that. They had been able to and could afford to. Because let's face it, many of us can't. They could afford to take that time out. And they invested in having different types of specialists there supporting them on their physical health, their mental health, their emotional health, their overall well-being. And they were talking about they were at their best, their optimal mental, emotional and physical well-being. They had been able to, over at least 6 months, fully invest in them. And they had coaches, mentors and trainers helping them to do that. And they were celebrating and giving recognition to those people that had been on that journey with them. And there were many people were celebrating that. Many people were saying, that's amazing, that's fantastic, well done, you look incredible. And they were saying, I feel at my best. I feel that I have reached my best. I'm eating the best. I'm sleeping the best. I'm exercising. I'm engaging. I'm connecting. I'm fulfilling. Now, of course, everything's not perfect. And I'm always wary when people post. And I'm not sure that this person was intending to post as if their life is perfect. Because very rarely would we ever say our life is perfect. We might say a situation is perfect for us. But is there such a thing as perfection? Things might feel perfect for us, but not everything is going to be perfect all at the same time. We're always going to have things, because it's a human condition. There's always things that we look to improve, or we are discontented with, or there are things that we don't feel are a good fit, or there are things that we want to have different. Contentment and happiness are things we strive for. We might achieve in certain aspects in our life at different times. But these emotions and feelings come and go, depending on our milestones and our aspirations and our goals and our expectations, our resources that are at our fingertips, or what we're prepared to do to reach the outcomes we want. And that's very important, because sometimes people will say to me, I'm never going to be able to have, or I don't really feel that this is for me. Maybe it's not. Maybe you won't. The question is it something you really need? Is it something you want? Is it something you really need that you're prepared to do what it takes because you feel it's really going to add value? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual value to you. Are you prepared to do whatever it takes? And I'm talking about within a moral compass here, right? I'm not talking about going out there and doing anything, because we have social norms. We do have social norms, right? So there are certain things that sometimes we would say, that goes beyond the boundaries, the parameters. But understanding needs, wants, expectations, desires, outcomes, and our worth and our value, and our core values. Knowing you helps you to understand how the world is around you, how you can actually fulfill you, become the best version of you. It always starts within you, because you matter. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. Until next time.